All right, guys, how y'all doing? This is Connor from Ramped Up Trading. I'm just going to go over some trades. One trade we did today in particular. I'm going to post on YouTube and make it free for everybody. We have a bunch of videos that we post for members only on YouTube that are unlisted. And I've been getting a lot of people saying y'all should post some free videos and stuff. And I think that's true. I think that we should post some free videos to just give an inside glimpse of just what we have to offer in Ramped Up Trading. So Apple trade is the trade I'm going to be talking about today. It was a great trade. It was probably the best trade of the day. So that is going to be the reason I'm going over that one. Not necessarily just because it was the best trade, but I mean, yeah, that's part of it. Obviously, it was a great trade. But it worked perfectly, so I think it's a great example to use. So first things first is I had this line of support. SPY was gapping down, obviously. Huge. Everything was gapping down huge. So SPY was gapping down to, this 270, 271 level. Next line of support was this right here, these lows. So I had that marked on my chart and had some other places marked that I took off just so the chart wasn't cluttered for this video. So SPY reached that level at 915. Well, if you notice, same thing with Apple. 915, it bottomed out. But before we get there, if you look at, stocks like NVIDIA, well, NVIDIA didn't really. Netflix, it tried to spike off the gate. Then you got Facebook, it tried to spike off the gate. Apple tried to spike off the gate. I believe Baba did the same thing, spiked off the gate. You had a bunch of stocks. That tried to make a move off the gate. I think even Baidu, well, a little bit, not as much as the rest, but last night in the members only trade recap video and pre-market video, in pre-market notes, I said over Mike Live, I said, look guys, back when this came down, when we had this, let me get to SPY. Sorry, I'm thinking I'm on SPY. So when we had this crash, well, let's make this bigger, right? So when we had this crash, we had these two big red days, right? And then we spiked up. Before we spiked up, I told everybody, most likely what's going to happen is we're going to chop around here on the lows. We're going to find support, and when we find support, we're going to, chop around. Now, I didn't know for sure if we were going to bounce and then come back down or just put in a big red day, big green day, big red day, big green day. But I do know that when you get big crashes, you get a lot of chop. Look at this. Red, green, red, green, red, green, red, then you go back up. Red, green, red, so you get a bunch of chop. Look at this, same thing, red, green, red, come down, up. So that's usually what happens, right? I mean, if you just kind of take observations of previous, I guess you could call this a crash. I mean, I don't know what people are calling this, a pullback. Some people are calling it a crash, some people are calling it a pullback, or whatever. I'm not going to have Twitter beef with people deciding if it's a crash or a pullback, I call it a crash. I mean, I call this a pullback, personally. This I would call more of a, a big pullback or a crash, whatever you want to call it. Doesn't really matter. Fact of the matter is I told everybody in chat, I said, look, we're probably going to chop around a lot down here, so be prepared for anything. Well, we bounced up, and, I pretty much said, I wouldn't be surprised if we bounce or if we chop around. And I said, and if we do bounce, we're probably going to come back to the lows. And when we did bounce, people in chat were asking, should we buy and try to swing trade back to the top? I said, no, absolutely not. You should not be trying to swing back for the top. This isn't done yet. All this is premature buyers, right? All you have is unexperienced buyers and experienced buyers. But what happens is when this comes down fast like this, the first thing that sets this spike off is unexperienced buyers. For one, they're buying prematurely thinking that this is going to rip right back to the top. And then you have experienced people saying there's going to be a bunch of premature buyers buying, therefore I'm going to try to get in with them and get this little spike. But what happens is the experienced traders sell, the unexperienced traders hold, and then they, get dumped on. So that's the two difference. Well, this spiked up, it came right back down, right? Well, we touched this perfect support today. So I told everybody, everything started. So first of all, now we'll get to today. So today, before in pre-market, I said, look guys, market's gapping down. you know, the market is most likely going to probably try to make a green day today since we're down so much. Because usually whenever you get a big crash like that and then it comes down and gaps down this much, you get a bunch of people wanting to try to buy that dip. So I said, but don't be surprised if we make a sell-off first. So when stuff started spiking out the gate, I said, guys, don't chase it. I guarantee the buyers are gonna fade off. It's gonna fade back down to lows. You're gonna catch some support. When we catch support, then we can catch it. Once it starts putting in higher lows, then we'll try to get in for the rip. I mean, it played out to a T. It couldn't have played out better. I wish I could bring up my pre-market notes if I had them with me here right now to show them. Or the trade recaps, which I'm not going to post those. Those are for members only. But fact of the matter is that's what I said. I said, look, guys, everything's spiking out the gate. Some of the members wanted to take stuff long. I said, don't do it. All it's going to do is you're going to see it top out. It's going to fade back off, and then if the buyers can come back in, that's when the more experienced buyers are going to come in once it finds support. Because all the experienced people are going to, what? Your session was closed. Invalid credentials. The heck does that mean? No. Hold on. Let's see what's going on. Okay, I don't know what the hell that means. Oh, I think it's just because I changed my password. So anyways, it spiked up. Yeah, it came back off. So when we saw this bottom out, I told people, okay, guys, we're coming into support. Let's see if it holds. It held, right? So as it held, I said, now let's look for it to cross back over VWAP, right? EMA is to cross over. Once it crosses over VWAP and 50 EMA, look for it to put in lower highs, right? Once it starts to put in lower highs, then we can try to get in for a run. So same thing with Apple. At the same exact time, it bottomed out too, 9.15, right? Then what do you, no. Then what do you have? Clear uptrend. It just started putting in lower highs, right? Well, so I will bring over the call out. Apple, sorry, let me go everyone. Oh, I don't have it right now, dang it. Okay, so this was this was called live on mic. That's what I remember now. We didn't actually type this one in chat. You know, sometimes the days get so hectic, but this can for sure be verified with members. But we called it out right here. A bunch of members took this trade, so it doesn't even, I'm not worried about, you know, people thinking that we didn't call it. But this was took right here. When this popped up, it put in a lower high, popped back up, came right back down to this trend line. We called this out on mic. We said, okay, guys, this is putting in lower highs, you know. It came here, popped up, right? Popped up into the high day support, rejected it, came back down to trend line, popped right back up into high day, came right back to the trend line. Right when it bounced off of that, we called it over 217.50. Right as it started spiking up and it broke over this high right here, guys, that was the entry, right? Right here. So we got long right here, and I mean, it was off to the races. I mean, if you think about it, you know, I'm not saying that, you know, I didn't even hold for this whole move, but that's not to say that, you know, I played it 100% correct. You know, I'm kind of a little disappointed that I did not take this trade and get in for this whole move, you know, but I know some members did. I'm not sure if they held for the whole move, but beautiful move. I think it was an amazing trade, to be honest. I posted some charts. I posted the charts with the call out where we called it out and stuff, live on mic. And I just wanted to do a video of the thought process behind the trade. You know, when I trade stocks like Apple, so these are the stocks that I like to keep an eye on. Just for market, I like to trade these stocks. These are stocks that I trade every day. These 9 stocks, you know, or 10 stocks. Plus I look at the VIX and the SPY. These are stocks that I trade every day. Plus a bunch of other stuff too, but the reason I trade these is because I like to trade options, and these are the most liquid options, and they move the most. And these are the market leading stocks, right? These are the stocks that lead the market, you know. And so when you're trading, the first thing you need to realize is when you're trading a stock like Apple, you need to keep up the SPY, because it's going to follow the SPY. Notice how the SPY came up, came back down, straight back up, right? You got the same thing with Apple. Put in this little wedge pattern, perfect higher lows, break of resistance, and it was off to the races. Never dipped back below the 9 and 20 EMA. All right. I mean, you had this one little point here where it dipped below, but it held that trend line perfectly. Never dipped below the 50 EMA, and it was off. You know, so that was the trade of the day for ramped up trading, guys. I just wanted to do a quick video on that. You know, I'm going to end the video now because I don't want it to be that long. So I'll post this on Twitter, though, for everybody to see. If you guys like what you see here and you want to know how you can trade these higher price stocks but you think you can't afford them, well, let me just show you something, guys. This Apple, this is a $217 stock where we bought it at, but you could have played the 220 calls. You could have played the 220 calls. Let me bring up a chart and just show you. Nope, that ain't it. I don't know why I did that. There we go. Alright, so, sorry, I did the puts. 220 calls. So, you could play the 220, you could have played the 220 calls, right? It's a $217 stock, but we got in at right here at 1103. So right around here as it started spiking up, the calls were at $1.62, guys. $1.62. So options are times 100. You buy one option contract and you control 100 shares of that stock. So $1.62 would have cost you $1,620 to make that trade, right? $1,620. That's it for one contract, and then those contracts hit $5. So if you would have bought one contract, you would have bought for $1,620. I mean, sorry, if you would have bought 10 contracts, you would have paid $1,620, right? If you would have bought one contract, you'd have paid $162, right? So let's just say you got 10 contracts for $1,620, right? Let's just call it $1,600. Then they went to $5. You could have sold those 10 contracts for $5,000, right? So you made a great return on your money. So, I mean, look at it like this, guys. This is a way where you could play these bigger price stocks for the price of a penny stock, right? You're getting to play a $217 stock for $1.62. You know? Well, obviously that's times 100, so $162. But that's for 100 shares. You're controlling 100 shares of this stock for $162. So you could have bought one contract for $162 and sold it for $500. You know? So however many you want to buy. So people think that you can't play these bigger stocks. No, you can. You have to play options. I'm telling you guys, options are the new thing. I remember years ago when I got into options, I've been trading for years. When I started trading options 5 years ago, man, you didn't have all these chat rooms and stuff trading options on Twitter. Not like you do now. You really didn't. Most of it was all penny stocks, and there's still a lot of penny stocks, and I don't give those any hate. You know, if that's their thing, if they're making money, then go ahead. You know, I wish that I could trade penny stocks the way they do. You know, that's just not my thing. I've never, you know, had success like they have with that. And I've had a little success, but I prefer this. So these stocks, they tend to trend better. Penny stocks are so irrational, guys. If you're finding yourself having problems making money trading penny stocks, that's because you don't have the overall market. Look how they all pretty much did the same thing. They dipped. This is a chart of the option. So they dipped. Here's the SPY. They followed the SPY. They all dipped and ripped. Look at this. Do you see a pattern here? Look at all these charts. They look exactly the same. Dip, rip, dip, rip. Spike, fail, dip, rip. Spike, fail, rip. A little bit spike, not really spike, but fail. For the most part, though, they kind of, you know, they kind of do the same thing. This is the VIX, so that's inverse. But you get what I'm, well, not inverse, but you get what I'm saying, right? So basically, what I'm trying to say is, if you're finding yourself, guys, having trouble making money in penny stocks, that's because they trade irrational. And I'm not saying that you can't make money in them. There's people who can, but the fact of the matter is when you trade stuff like this, you have all, when I trade this stock, I'm watching all of these stocks at the same time. Why? Because if all of them are trending up, then then that means you have a strong market, SPY's trending up, all these other stocks that lead the market are trending up. So therefore, that makes me gives me more conviction on the trade that this is going to trend up too, because all the other stocks that it follows are trending up. These stocks all tend to run the same. They all tend to follow the market, and they all tend to do the same thing 90% of the time. So you have something to base your trade off of. You have more conviction. You're not just going into a stock that doesn't follow the market and you don't know what it can do. If it's spiking up, you don't know if it's going to keep spiking or go back down. But if this is spiking up and everything else is running with the SPY running, then you say, you know what? Looks like the market's having legs today. Looks like we got some conviction. You know, people are going to buy this up, and it looks like we're going to get a good run. So if you want to learn to do this more, guys, come check out Ramped Up Day Trader. We do this every day. We trade equity, options, long and short. Primarily, I focus on options because I can trade these stocks for a fraction of the cost. You know, if you like to trade equity, that's perfectly fine. We do the same thing. All the trade alerts we put out, we put them all out live in chat. Right now, we're in the process of switching over to a new chat room. November 1st, we will be switching over to a new chat room that's top notch. I mean, it's going to be it's going to blow people away. So y'all look forward to that. And come check us out if you want to learn how to trade these options and get in on these bigger stocks for a fraction of the cost. All right, guys. I'll see y'all later. I'm going to post this up on Twitter. Peace.